You know, like 1975. How many of you were born in 1975? There's only one person. There's only one person here. I was. Who? We were born in 1975. Can I see your face? Anyway, so I joined Authority in 1978, and I made a career that spanned 28 years, and I retired 2006. Can we do a better job? Yes, okay. So I retired 2006. I retired 2005, and but I've remained busy since then. And so all the things we had about being expert in this, expert of that, all of that stopped in 2006. Now, what I've done since I retired is working with young people like you, who have great business ideas and want to make something of that idea. And therefore, I decided I was going to be an angel investor. How many of you know what an angel investor is? An investor with wings, right? Anyway, and that's basically what I've been doing. And what I've in perpetual search for are people with bright ideas that you can put money and time behind and help them realize their idea and build something, something innovative, something that solves real life problems and so on. I started this journey, I would say 14 years ago, and I've made some investments. Some have worked, many have failed, as to be expected. Okay, maybe this one will work this time. Okay, many have worked, many have failed. The few that have succeeded more than pay for the ones that fail. That's the beauty of investing. But we are, of course, eternal optimists and all that. So, like I said, we're on a perpetual search for ideas and all that. And it's a very rich field because we live in a country where there are loads and loads and loads of problems. I'm surprised you are still here because many people have found their way to Canada. How many of you are processing application to Canada? Honestly, how many of you are processing your... And how many of you will go to Canada after you finish this program? You are going to Canada. You are going to Canada when you finish. You are going to Canada when you finish. Why? Why not get a job here? Not sure. Anyway, most young people think there is no future in Nigeria. They think Nigeria is a hopeless case. Things are difficult. Nothing works. What's wrong about Nigeria? I'm sure if I asked each and every one of you to tell me about one thing that is wrong about Nigeria, we'll get as many different things that there are people in this room. Correct? Okay. Now, do you know that the flip side of all that is wrong in Nigeria, what is it? Opportunity to fix them. So the point I always make is that Nigeria is a country that has yet to be built. Let's even accept the fact that the generations before you, including my generation, we failed your generation. Yeah, I accept my own part of the blame and all that kind of thing. However, it is not a lost cause. The fact that we haven't done it means that it still has to be done. And who's going to do it? Will Canadians come and build Nigeria? Would Americans come and build Nigeria? Will English people come and build Nigeria? Now, do you want Nigeria to be like Canada? So who's going to make it happen? So that is the opportunity that you guys are sitting on. So the fact that we haven't done it means that we've left so much for you to do. And that's basically the challenge that every young Nigerian should accept. But what I tell people when they tell me they want to go to Canada is that Canada can't take all of us. It's only a matter of time before they shut the door or they raise the bar and make it more difficult and more difficult and more difficult and so on, because there's only so much Canada can take. And yet we're here. We are here for a reason. Have you ever questioned God why he didn't make you an Englishman? Yes? And what response did you get? No answer. Well, God has a... Do you challenge God? So there's a purpose. There's a purpose, and therefore your prayer should be, let that purpose be fulfilled in Nigeria. So, like I said, yours is probably the generation that will build Nigeria. And I think the program you are on to is part of the preparation, for taking on that challenge. Now, the program you are going through for me is something that I'm familiar with, very, very familiar with it. How many of you are familiar with MEST in Ghana? This is exactly MEST in Ghana. It's 2 years. It started as a 2-year program. Later became 1 year. They give you basic training, coding, management, the whole works. And the last 3 months or the last 6 months, you come up with a business idea, right? You form yourself into teams, come up with a business idea. And if you come up with a business idea that is bankable, you go into incubation. Isn't that what this is basically what it is, right? Now, so what we find, for those of us on the receiving side, where we're looking for people with ideas to put money behind, is that a lot of the ideas that are coming out are not as well thought through as it could be. The best ideas are the ideas that solve real life problems in your community. It's got to be real life, it's got to be relevant. It shouldn't be a local adaptation of what somebody has done in America. You want to do a Facebook in Nigeria, you want to do a Nigerian LinkedIn. I mean, so that's been done. If you look at the issues confronting Nigeria, you find that there are many that are peculiarly Nigeria. And those are the things you should address your mind to. What can you do, to solve problems of Nigeria? All these things we complain about, whether it's elections, whether it's rigging, whether it's police that is not working, and so on. What can we do to solve those problems, to build those systems and so on? I think that's the challenge. Now, what we find as investors, as angel investors, is that there are plenty of people trying to come up with ideas and so on. Many of them don't fly. I run an angel network called Lagos Angels Network, LAN. Have you maybe heard about LAN? Okay. Yesterday, we meet every month. Every last Thursday of the month. We made an exception for this month because next Thursday is the last Thursday. But we actually had an event yesterday. And we had 5 pitches. Now, the room was full of at least 20 people who have the means, the willingness, the ability, the motivation to support these young entrepreneurs. Meaning they're willing to write a check, willing to give up their time on mentoring and so on, so that the business ideas these guys were pitching before us will have a chance of flying. There were 5 pitches, and guess how many pitches were found investment worthy? 0. And that to me has been my experience on this journey. We got money in our pocket, we want to invest, we want to support, but it's not money you want to throw away. It's not charity. Even though we say angel investors, they're not doing you any favor. They are looking for ideas they can put money behind, support you with coaching, mentoring, opening doors with their networks and so on, so they can build a business, support it with their experience, so they can build a business success, so that the money they make will multiply. That's the whole essence. So what we are finding, therefore, is that a lot of the ideas coming out are not bankable. They are not bankable. And what is a bankable idea? A bankable idea is an idea that solves real life problem for a large enough group of people who have the means and the ability to pay for the solution to the problem. And you make money off that. So which means the idea has got to be real. It's going to be somebody's pain point. Yeah? And there's going to be enough of them to constitute a market, a viable market. So when you come up with an idea that's, that can serve your neighborhood, you cannot build a business around that. Because there's an idea that solves the problem of Nigeria. So the idea has to address the pain points of a large enough number of people who are looking for solutions, or looking for a better solutions, or a better or speedier or cheaper solution. I mean, there may be solutions existing, so your solution doesn't have to be original, but there has to be something different about it. You're either making it cheaper, faster, better, whatever. There's going to be something that is unique about the idea that somebody is willing to pay for. Now, if that market is not large enough, you cannot build a business out of it. Because one thing that is critical for a business to succeed is what we call scale or scalability. You've heard about scalability. All businesses will start small, necessarily. Even IBM started as small, HP started small, Apple started small, but they scaled. So the ability to scale is absolutely crucial. So that's something you must think about. Can this business become big? You have to think it through from the very beginning, from the get-go. Does this business have the ability to become big and substantial? If it is not, you might still make a business. It might be big enough to pay your child's school fees, send them to school, pay your rent, and maybe ultimately buy a house or put one car or so on the road and so on. But those are not the kind of businesses that I will be interested in. I'm interested in a business that will become big, really, really big. Which means, therefore, you've got to do your thinking very, very deeply. An example of an idea that was big when we started with how many of you have heard of InterSwitch? Everybody, of course. InterSwitch started as an idea in 2002. It was developed. The startup capital was 200 million naira. That was InterSwitch. It was owned by banks at that time. 9 years later, we wanted to get some of the bank owners out so we can get institutional investors in. You know the valuation of InterSwitch? 26 billion naira. Look at the order of magnitude. From 200 million to 26 billion in 9 years. So that's an idea. It solved a real life problem. At that time, let me tell you what was happening at that time. The biggest the denomination currency in Nigeria was 200 naira. That was the biggest. There was no 500 naira, there was no 1,000 naira in 2002. Which meant, therefore, if you wanted to take 4 people to dinner, you went with a bag of currency. You couldn't put it in your pocket. You couldn't fit in a lady's handbag. You have to go with a sack of money. Not only that, there were less than 50 ATMs in the whole country in 2002. There were more ATMs in Ghana than Nigeria, 2002. Not only that, those ATMs belonged to 3 banks. First Bank, UBA, and a bank that was known as Societe Generale at that time. Many of you will know about it. Now, if you had an account with First Bank, you can only get money from a First Bank ATM. If you have an account with Societe Generale, you can only take money from a Societe Generale ATM. So when you look at the things that's possible today, they weren't possible 17 years ago. So there are a lot of things we take for granted. We think that's the way it's always been. No, it hasn't always been like that. Somebody solved a real life problem. And in the process of doing that, created a big business. And there are several examples like that. I've just used that as a graphic. It's probably the best example I can think of of somebody who saw the possibilities and built a business out of it. Of course, building is not as easy as it sounds, but it was done in this country. And guess what? InterSwitch was built 100% by Nigerians. The oldest person in InterSwitch, the MD, is still under 50. The business started 2002. That is what, how many years ago? 17 years ago? Which one was about 32, 33 when he started the business. And everybody else was younger than him. All Nigerian. No expatriate, nothing. Now, just to give you an idea of what's possible. So, your idea, therefore, has to have the ability to scale. If it doesn't have the ability to scale, it's okay. But just know that you are building what I call a lifestyle business. A business that is enough to sustain the lifestyle of the founder and maybe a few people. That is not of interest to capitalists or investors. And that won't create too many employment and solve one of the problems that we face in this country, which is youth unemployment. So you've got to think about that. The other thing that is absolutely crucial we're looking for, which we often don't get, is that as an investor, I prefer to invest with a team rather than an individual. So the whole idea that, it's my idea, it's in my head, or it's my IP, only me can do it and so on, it's not going to go very far. You need a team. And therefore, that ability to form a team at a very early stage where everybody has substantive roles to play, and they have real ownership and real stake is absolutely important. So, again, when you're thinking of your idea, you also have to look around your peers and so on. Who can help me make this idea come to life and develop it? Because chances are you cannot do it alone. If you think you can do it alone, you are starting on the wrong foot. So that ability to work in a team and all that is crucial. And then, of course, the other thing to know when it's talking about ideas that would scale is so that you've got to know that there has to be a plan to it. You've got to understand the market. All the things you are going to learn here. Understand your market, the characteristics of the market, the ability of the market to pay, and so on. And if you think your idea is original, perish the thought. Chances are that idea, somebody else has it, or somebody already implemented. And therefore, knowing the competition, either existing competition or potential competition, becomes absolutely crucial. Okay, so never think that your idea is so unique, so proprietary that it's a silver bullet, it solves the problem. Nobody else, it doesn't work that way. And even if it does at the beginning, not for too long. Because if it's a good idea and it's solving the problem of a large enough market, somebody else would pick up on that idea, either copy you, and in the process of copying you, improve, come with a better version of your idea. Not only that, they can actually do a better job of execution. Because having the idea is one thing, execution is a totally different ballgame. So one of the ways to hedge around that, of course, make sure you have a team of people and that you work as a team. So don't work alone. Like I say, if you work alone, you can go very fast. But if you want to go very far, work with people. So that's, I'm talking to you now as an entrepreneur, because I don't know whether, I think when you leave here, you're going to go into incubation and so on. One of the things we love to do is to go out to graduation ceremonies and pitch events and so on. And there are some brilliant ideas, but like I said to you, based on my experience running the Legal Engineer Network over the last 5-6 years, we have more money to invest than there are ideas to put the money on. Very sad, but that's true. And therefore, when somebody tells you capital is my problem, that is not, in most likelihood, is not true. The problem is never capital. The problem is the quality of the idea. Because if the quality of the idea is sound and there's a market and money to be made, capital will find you. Capital will find you. I mean, I'm not saying we have all the capital we need in Nigeria, But at least at the level you are at starting up, there will be enough people who will be willing, who have the capacity to give you the 50,000 or 50 million or whatever that you need to get started. But it's going to be a bankable idea. That's something to bear in mind. It's not charity. Investment is not charity. Even if family and friends and give you money in the expectation that you will succeed, and someday either help them or help your younger ones and so on. So you've got to have that at the back of your mind, that the most crucial aspect of starting a business is what you call the idea stage, or the ideation as they call it. The robustness of the idea, the quality of the idea, the problem it's seeking to solve, the solution itself, which means, of course, you've got to understand the problem to come up with a solution that is innovative and so on. And of course, the size of the market. As much as possible, look for ideas that will solve the problem of a large number of people. But all said and done, one other thing to bear in mind is that not all of us, this is a sad fact, are entrepreneurs. And feel comfortable if you're not an entrepreneur. You don't like to take risks, you don't like uncertainty, you want a steady paycheck, and so on. Yeah, so there are some of us that are that's who we are. And you don't need to make any apologies for that. The last thing you want to do is to try to be who you are not or what you are not. So many of you, probably most of you, will find your fulfillment in employment rather than in entrepreneurship. That's a different conversation in terms of what do you do if you're in employment and so on. Because I was in employment, I had a career. I didn't start my own business. I had a career. I was successful at it and so on. So there are things to do if you want to pursue a career. That doesn't make you an inferior person. It just makes you a different person. But I'm sure many of you here are here wanting to develop some solution or so on to become the next Mark Zuckerberg or whatever. I'm sure that's everybody's dream, to become a billionaire. But not all of us will be a billionaire, unfortunately. Some of us will be millionaires, and some of us will be Tanzania or whatever. That's how we can get, just a paycheck and so on. We are creating more babies than we are creating jobs. And therefore, the whole idea of coming out of school and looking for work is not. So everybody has to become more of an entrepreneur. You have to create work rather than look for work. It in itself is an opportunity. It's a different set of challenge. Or people will tell you, things were easier in your days. I say, maybe. Everything in life is relative. Things might be easier in my days, but the opportunities that you have, I don't have. Some of the wherewithal that you have, the technology that you have at your disposal, we never had. And so the things you can do, we couldn't even conceive it at that time. So what I always advise is that you have to live in your own era, live in your own time, and do the things that are needed to be done in your own time. Bad as Nigeria is today, I can assure you, millionaires are being created every day. I'm talking about people who are making their money honestly, not government contractors or those doing the funny things they do in Abuja and so on. No. People are solving problems, people are creating businesses, people are creating wealth, real wealth. It's happening as we speak. So you can lament your fate and talk about how bad this country is, how hopeless things are, how you want to go to Canada and so on. While you are going to Canada, somebody is solving the problem and making money. And the advice I always give to people is that if you go to Canada, do yourself a favor. Track your progress in Canada with the progress of your contemporaries that you left behind in Nigeria. Just track. Maybe every 4 years, every 5 years, track where you are and compare to where the person that was your classmate in school, where the person is in life. I can assure you 9 times out of 10, they are ahead of you. Not only are they ahead of you, the longer you stay away, the further ahead they are. And it gets worse. It gets worse to the point where when it's time for you, you're tired of Canada, your children have all left home, have gone to school, they've married and so on, you want to come back home, you can't come back home. Suddenly you find that you cannot afford a lifestyle that your contemporaries who stayed back in Nigeria and faced all the shortcomings of this country, all the NEPA problems, all the traffic, so on, which they surmounted, and on top of that, built a life, built a career, built a business. You can't come near them. And what I'm telling you is something that I can tell you from my own personal experience. Apart from counseling young people about that, something I've experienced. I can give you several examples. I went to secondary school. We finished A-levels in 1971. 2/3 of my class went abroad. 2/3 went abroad. This was the King's College class of 1971. Now, everybody's done well because the class of very, very bright people. Everybody's done well, but it's all relative. There are not many people who stayed abroad that have done better than those of us who stayed back in Nigeria. Not very many. In fact, in my own set, there's only one person I can identify who went abroad that's done better than the rest of us. I mean, so the idea that the solution is out there, to me, is flawed. Tough as Nigeria is still the place to do great things. It's still the place to do great things. And the point I always make is that you just think about it. Is there any good or any service in Nigeria, any product in Nigeria, where the demand, where the supply exceeds the demand? Can you think of anything in Nigeria that we have a surplus of, that people desire, that we have a surplus of it, that the people want it? What? Huh? So what?
No, sorry,
Song. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's none. There's nothing in this country where the supply exceeds the demand. Nothing. And that's the point I always make, that this country is a country that has yet to be built. And it provides wonderful opportunity. So I think what it boils down to basically is that if you have the kind of opportunity that you have now, make the best of it. Because you are privileged. You are privileged to be here, if you don't know it. I'm sure there are people who will give an eye to be where you are. So make the best of the opportunity. Nigeria is tough, but Nigeria is a land of opportunities. And so all I can say is wish you well. If there's any way we can help, help is there. All you need to do is ask. And like I said, I run an angel network. There were 24 or so of us. We have the desire, we have the motivation, we want to invest, we want to support young entrepreneurs and so on, but we're not throwing the money away. We are putting the money behind ideas that can make us even richer and make you rich also in the process. So it's those kind of ideas are the ideas I will come back to listen to when you are graduating. Thank you.